In my previous video, I uploaded a tutorial on how to cut this stylish pencil dress that you are seeing on your screen. And in this tutorial, we are going to be talking about how to sew it together step by step. So it is sewing o'clock. Hi, my name is Oluwatosin. In case you are seeing my channel for the first time, and you're welcome. To all my returning subscribers, you're also welcome. Thank you so much, guys, for always stopping by my videos. Thanks for the likes and all the comments. I see all of them and I greatly appreciate them. I take none of them for granted. So without talking too much, let us dive right into today's video. In the cutting video of this dress, I mentioned that most times I don't remove my neckline and my armhole till I'm done joining my bustier together. So to start sewing this dress, the first thing I did was to join my Princess Dart Bustier together for the front, and this is what the front looks like when I was done joining for the main fabric. I proceeded to join the lining as well. I joined the back, then I joined the lining for the back. After all of this, I'm going to arrange all my pieces together, all my panels, front panel, back panel, the linings. This is what the lining looked like when I was done joining. You can see that I've not removed the neckline, I've not removed the armhole, and I've not shaped it. It's just there like that. And these are the back panels, the two panels for the back and their lining as well. Then for the pencil part of the sleeve, I turned the side, I flipped it to the right side, I matched the up, and then I matched the down. So I'm going to be arranging all my panels together for the half length. I arranged them in a way that right side is facing right side for front, right side is facing right side for the front lining, for the back as well, right side is facing right side. All my joinings are facing one direction, as you can see on your screen, and then the zipper allowance is at the back. After arranging your half lengths like this, the next thing is to figure out if the length is okay or is not. And to achieve this, we know the under bust. You know, you must have measured the under bust on whoever you are sewing the dress for. So whatever the number is, because you can obviously spot the under bust on your piece, you are going to put that number on the under bust and measure it upward. Then you mark one, add half inch. The half inch is for joining the shoulder. Whatever is remaining up, you cut it away. Then you put it under the bust, measure it downward, you mark the half length, then you add 1 inch allowance. Whatever is remaining after this, you are going to trim it away. You can see me doing that in the video. This is just to be sure that the half length is not too long or too short after joining. You can now proceed to measuring the shoulder divided by 2, not starting from the zip allowance. You can see where I'm starting my one from. So I divided our shoulder by 2 because this dress has a sleeve. I added half inch allowance. Then our actual armhole is 17, but at this point I marked 7.5. I drew the armhole curve, then a bust divided by 4. Our bust is 37 divided by 4. I added 1.5 inch sewing allowance. Then our waistline is 32 divided by 4. I added 1.5 inch sewing allowance. After measuring all of this, I proceeded to cutting out the shaping. I cut out the armhole and then I trimmed the zip allowance so that it is straight. Now to the neckline, I used neck width of 6 on fold of 2. I marked 3 because it has collar and so that it doesn't get too wide. Then for the neck depth, I used 3 for front and 1 for back, and they are both round neck. So I'm going to be marking 1 and cutting the one that serves as the back neck depth together with the front first before raising up the front to cut out the 3. Then you are going to slant your shoulder a bit. Basically, I've succeeded in cutting out the half length. The next thing to do is to start turning. This is what it looks like when I was done cutting for the front and then the lining and the back panel. This is what all of them look like. So moving to my sewing machine now, I have to start turning or joining. So the first thing I did was to join the shoulder line for the lining together. Now for this back panel, you can see that when I arranged it like this, like I've eliminated the zip bulge. The excess that is supposed to cause zip bulge is no longer there. You can see it on the lining as well towards the lower part. So when you cut your half length with that method, automatically the zip bulge has been eliminated. So I proceeded to join in the shoulder lines for the lining. I joined for the main fabric as well. I'm just going to keep this aside and proceed to turning the lower part of this dress. So first you are going to turn the front. Make sure that your lining is facing the right side of your fabric, and then you start by turning it down. After turning it down, the lining is going to appear shorter. You remember that when we were cutting it, the lining was definitely cut shorter than the Ankara. So after stitching it down, you are going to forcefully drag the lining up to the length of the Ankara, and then you proceed to turning the side. So you turn the two sides. The only place you will not turn is the up, because that is where you'll be flipping it out from to the right side when you are done turning both sides. So when I was done turning the front, I proceeded to giving it a good press, and then I picked up the back panel. For the back panel, I mentioned in the cutting video that the back is going to have slits that will not lap. So because of that, there's a way we are going to turn the back panel. So when you open up the back panel on the zip allowance side, the first thing you have to do is to figure out how long this slit is even going to be at the back. So to do this, you are going to put your half length up just like I did, like you use the tape rule to make the half length invisible. You mark the actual length of the dress, and our actual length is 38. I just decided to make the slit 5 inches long, so I marked 33. Then you will pick up your zip and measure the half length on the zip. Our half length is 16, so I measured 16. You are going to put the half length up just like I'm doing, and then you mark the whole length of the zip, like depending on how long you want the zip to be. I want it to just be where I'm marking. If you feel it's too long, you can come up a bit higher. Then you will sew from where the zip stops to the point where the slit starts from. Please, when you are sewing, make sure you stitch those 2 points very well, especially where the slit is going to start from. Please stitch it very well. After doing this, you have something looking like this. You succeeded in creating the zip allowance up and then the slit down. The next thing to do is to start turning. So you start your turning from the down. You will turn the down first. The lining has to face the right side of the Ankara, and please, the zip side of the lining has to be on the zip side of the Ankara. Please don't mix it up. So we are going to open it up just like I'm doing. Place your lining on the right side, and then you'll be stitching the down first, just straight. After stitching the down, the lining is definitely going to appear shorter. You forcefully drag it up, and then it will look like this. Then you stitch the shaping side from up to down. You turn the shaping side. After turning the shaping side, the next side to turn is the zip side. So if there is a need to trim, you should trim, and then the other side, you are going to put it inward, just like I'm doing. Just watch what I'm doing in this video. And then you cover it up with the lining. You open it up so that you don't get to pick the both sides. You just want to face the lining on the right side for just one side, the side you are currently turning. So you are going to stitch from up to down as well. As you are sewing downward, please be using your hand to push in the other side so that it doesn't get in the way. You guys understand what I'm saying. So when you are done stitching, you are going to bring it out from the up. You remember that we are not stitching the up, so just flip it outward from the up. And when you are done doing this, this is what we have. This is what your back panel is going to look like at this point. You can see that the side that I've turned now appears shorter than the side that I've not turned. You repeat this same process to the other side of the back panel, and we have succeeded in turning the back panel of this dress. So I gave this a very good press, and when I was done, this is what it's looking like. The next thing to do after this is to cut your collar and attach it to the neckline. And because I don't want this video to get too lengthy, and I don't want to rush the process of cutting that collar so that I can merge it with this video, I had to make a separate video on how to cut and sew that collar. I'll be putting the link up and also in the description box. You should check it out if you don't know how to achieve this collar. It is a very comprehensive video on how to cut that collar. After this, I attached my collar to the neckline, and then I turned the neckline with lining. I turned the side. This is the zip side now that I'm turning. After turning the zip side, I turned the shaping side. I flipped all of that to the right side from the down. I'm not going to be turning the down, and you will not turn the armhole. So from the down, I brought everything out, and then I gave that a very, very good press. And when I was done doing all of this is what my half length is looking like at this point. So attaching the half length to the lower part of the dress, you put a notch at the middle of the half length, and then you put a notch at the middle of the pencil part of the dress as well. The two notches have to be facing each other, and then you stitch from one side to the other. For the back as well, you are going to stitch one side of the down to one side of the up for the back panel. Please make sure that the zip side for the up is on the zip side for the down. Please don't mix it up. And then the next thing to do is to fix your zip. So to fix my zip, I love to fix my zip with measurement. This is just me trying to measure the bust. I measured 1 inch allowance, then I divided the bust by 4. I marked that. For the waistline, I measured 1 inch sewing allowance. I divided the waistline by 4. I marked that. But for the first hip, I love to use 1.5. So for the sewing allowance, I marked 1.5. I divided the first hip by 4, and then I marked. This just helps me to know where my zip will pass when I'm fixing it. Like, it's so easy, and it eliminates the bulge at the back of a fitted dress. 100%. You can try it if you've been having bulge at the back of your dress after fixing your zip. So when I was done fixing zip, this is what my dress is looking like at this point. The next thing to do is to shape. I love to start my shaping from the back because it automatically helps me to know the middle of my dress. So from the middle, I divided our bust by 4. I marked that. Our waist by 4. Our first hip by 4. Our actual hip by 4. I marked that. Then I shaped it. I flipped it to the other side. I divided by 2. Now, starting from the first place I shaped, I divided by 2 the bust, the waist, the first hip and the second hip, and then I shaped. Now, the next thing after shaping is to remeasure my shoulder. So our actual shoulder is 15. I remeasured 7.5, and I added half-inch allowance for both sides. Then I retrimmed the armhole. I measured the armhole that I retrimmed to be sure that I'm on track. Our actual armhole is 17. I measured 8.5 here. That gives me 17 on multiplication of 2. Now, for the pencil part of the sleeve, I measured a round sleeve at the bicep region. I measured an armhole on the armhole side of the sleeve as well. Then I shaped. For this puffy part of the sleeve, I just shaped it downward, and then for this pencil part of the white side of the sleeve, I turned the both sides first, then I folded it into two and measured. A round sleeve at that point is 11. I measured 11, then I stitched that together. So I'm going to be putting a notch at that point, and then I'm going to be gathering all of that into that small pencil part of the sleeve. When I was done doing that, this is what it looks like. The next thing is to attach the Ankara part to the upper parts of the puffy parts of the sleeve. So there's not going to be pleating here, so I just sew it straight, and then when I was done doing that, I attached my sleeve to the armhole. Now for these edgy parts of the dress, I just placed the wrong side of the edge on the right side of my dress, and then I stitch from one side to the other. When I was done doing all of these things I said, this is what my dress came out looking like. I can tell you that mannequin is not doing justice to this dress. This dress is so cute and adorable. Thank you so much for sticking with me from the beginning of this video till this point. I hope someone found this video helpful and interesting. If this video has been helpful to you, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and in case you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask me down in the comment section. And don't forget that the link to how I cut and sew this collar is going to be in the description box, and then the link to how I cut this dress will be in the description box as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in my next video, and don't forget that the link to cutting this collar is just right here up and then the link to cutting this dress as a whole is the next link in the box beside it. Bye.